Style and word choice is tested on the English portion of the ACT. In word choice and style, there'll be awkward sentences that you must correct. Modifier placement and parallelism fixes most issues with these sentences. Another issue can be the word choice itself. The ACT test does not test your vocabulary specifically, but your mastery of word choice and vocabulary is tested in the English and reading sections. In the classroom, we'll review some common errors and pitfalls. Your ability to choose the correct word because of style and word choice is going to be tested on the ACT exam as well. So let's take a look at a couple of examples and situations so you understand what we're talking about here. All right, one thing to look out for when you're talking about style is consistency. Is the style consistent or not? So words that are in the correct position but don't fit with the style of the rest of the selection are incorrect. These can be figured out by looking at the context of the sentence. So you want to make sure that the word choice is consistent with the quality or academic level of the rest of the sentence or selection. Is the word informal in a formal academic paragraph? Let's look at an example of word choice that's inconsistent. Here's a sentence. Lots of things can be done to fix the problem, like identifying faulty processes, technical training, and pre-assessments. The phrase lots of things is more of a slang, general, very conversational term, but you're talking about faulty processes, technical training, pre-assessments. Those two don't match up, so you have an inconsistent word choice with lots of things. You would want to try and find something else like many factors can contribute to resolve the problem, including identifying faulty processes, technical training, and pre-assessments. We talked about modifier placements in an earlier section, and that had to do with making sure that the modifier is as close as possible to the word that it's modified so the sentences read clearly. When you're talking about word choice and choosing specific phrases, that's an important thing to keep in mind. It can be read a little bit differently too. Here's an example for you. The research indicated the second hypothesis, even though the data didn't support it much. Let's say, for example, the word choice that was in question was it. What is it talking about? Is it talking about the research that indicated the second hypothesis, or is it talking about the data not supporting it much? So given a choice where you have a sentence like that and it can be switched around to make it more clear, for example, the research indicated the second hypothesis, even though the hypothesis wasn't supported much by the data, you want to choose the one that's going to go ahead and clarify your modifiers, words like it. All right. So a little bit different than what we talked about in the earlier chapter, making sure the modifier is close by. You want to keep that in mind. You're reading a sentence. If you can't tell what word is being modified, then you want to make sure that you're choosing something that makes sense and it's close to the words being modified. Okay. Another category when dealing with word choice is looking out for the problem of wordiness. So when evaluating a selection on the ACT, you may notice that the underlined phrase gives extra, repetitive, or unnecessary words. These need to be eliminated because they're said to be wordy. You want to replace these phrases with more concise phrases. Per question, if you have the same thing stated twice within that sentence, it's redundant. Get rid of it. Here's some examples for you. I just wanted you to know that it is important to watch out for extraneous, meaningless phrases. Choice, no change. Eliminate the underlined section. We're saying you should know that it is important to watch out for. Or D, knowing that it is important to watch out for. If you're looking at these, first of all, I just wanted you to know that is extra. It's understood. You're making the statement, it's important to watch out for extraneous, meaningless phrases. This is one of those meaningless phrases. So certainly our correct answer is going to be to eliminate the underlined section. Here's the situation, though, when you're taking the test. You might be thinking, maybe this is a grammatical error. Let me make sure that everything matches up, that it's grammatically correct. and knowing that, well, there's nothing really wrong, I as a subject, okay, so then you might say, well, it probably needs no change. But you got to keep in mind, if something really isn't saying anything, if it's extra, you want to eliminate it. All right. Similarly to wordiness, where something doesn't say anything, you may have repetition and redundancy. This is when words are saying the exact same thing twice. All right. So we want to look for words that say the same thing and choose the answer that eliminates them if underlined. So if we're given the example, the soldiers advanced forward, we would want to get rid of the word forward. When you advance, it's understood that you are moving forward. So there's a situation where it's redundant. There are a lot of common phrases that we use that are redundant. The ACT is going to check that you are taking the time to put in the correct word choice and you avoid them. So here's a little bit of a list. This will be easy for you on the written part of the website to go ahead and take a look at, print out, refresh your mind, a day or two before you're taking that test, so you're looking out for them. Common things like cancel out. Of course you're canceling it out, it's understood. Or connect up, constantly maintain. Evolve over time, there's no other way to do it. Lag behind, well, there's only one place you can lag. To lift up, well, if you're lifting, it's up. A new beginning, a beginning is a beginning. All right, a pair of twins. Well, that one, I guess, unless you're dealing with 4, because you have 2 sets, you would want to get rid of that. To reply back, only way to reply. So go ahead, take a look at those. Refresh your memory a day or two right before you're going to take the test. Check it out on the website itself, and I'm sure that'll help you out. In conclusion, recognizing these common errors will help you ace the English portion of the ACT.